new day, a new dawn. I'm on lunch break right now, so I'm really just hopping in because I said, oh, now's a good time to film videos. On Friday, the vibes are flowing, so I don't see why not. And I haven't dropped a video, like an actual full-length video, in a little minute. So I've mostly been doing like shorts. So you might have seen like my mini vlogs or some of my diary room chronicles and some of my other like little nuggets of wisdom. But this is like more of like just some tips on like recentering on your mind, body, soul, and your heart. Because I feel like those are like the four aspects of our lives, and I feel like by centering and honing in on those four aspects, we can really realign and recenter ourselves and make sure that we're working towards our highest self and our highest form of who we can be as a person. It's just kind of like ensuring that these goals and these habits that you're implementing into your life aren't really just like because you're focused on the outcome, because of course that's great, like having a goal in mind is perfect, like that's what you need to keep going and keep moving forward. But also aside from that, it's also important to like take into account like you're not doing these things because you want the outcome. You're doing these things because that's who you are. That's like in alignment with who you are as a person, and making these like not as outcome based, but more so like lifestyle based, and make them more like taking them into your personhood. I feel like allows these goals to feel like more authentic, and then allow things to continue to flow in harmony with who you are. All right, so the first aspect, of course, is your mind, because I feel like that's kind of like the forefront. Like a lot of the battles that we go through in life start in our mind, and if you're constantly like going through things and like allowing yourself to relive what is going on or what could go wrong, then you're constantly like putting yourself in like that distress mindset and like being in like a survival mode, and we don't need that. That's not the life we're meant to live. Life is much more than that. And so by doing things like meditating or even breath work are great for like just kind of like reframing and being more mindful in the moment, and not about everything outside of our control in that instinct. So doing things like that, that's like just one little tip. Another big thing, of course, if you have the resources of therapy, I was in therapy for a long time after my accident, and I still want to get back into therapy at some point, but I also just know that it's not really affordable for me right now. So in the meantime, I'm doing therapy. I'm doing things like going to church, which I feel like kind of overlaps with your soul as well as your mind. Church or like religion, your relationship with a higher power can kind of touch all these aspects. But for me personally, I know it's like really done like wonders for my mind. It's just like being more mindful about things that are in my control and things that are not. So just doing things like that. Else, being selfish. I talked about this a little bit in like one of my previous videos about like pouring more into yourself, but just being selfish and like recentering and focusing things onto you and not always putting other people first. Like it might be hard to adjust into that if you're so used to putting other people before yourself, but it's an important habit to get into. Now we're gonna move on to the body. Now your body is a temple. You should take care of it. Eating healthy, of course, is the best way you can do that. But there are also things like that you can do, like working out, doing yoga, stretching, making sure that you're getting some kind of walking or mobility in each day. I know that's really important for me just because ever since my accident, like it has been sometimes hard for me to like walk as much as I want to because my legs get tired or I can't really run right now. So things like that. And also have to take into account my injuries and my spine. Like I have certain disabilities now that change the way I move through life, but I can't let that stop me from wanting to be where I am. So I have to make sure to do things like integrating calisthenics and yoga into my weekly routine so that I'm staying active in some way. I also just do things like walking on my walking pad. I try and get like a mile in each day. If I'm really feeling it, I'll try and get like a mile in the morning and a mile in the evening. I haven't done that in like 2 weeks, but when I'm really feeling it, I'm really into it. So doing things that you feel more aligned with, like not always doing like everything that you see everybody else doing, but doing something that works for you. You have to adjust all these goals to yourself because at the end of the day, it's about you. Now we're gonna move on to the soul. So the soul is kind of like your essence, your being. And I feel like the main way that you can ensure that you're always feeding your soul is just like working with your assignment in life. Like I feel like we're all here for a purpose, and we all kind of have like a higher calling. So just working toward that higher calling and ensuring that you're doing what needs to be done to. Are you feeding yourself? Are you pouring into yourself? Are you doing what you need to do to be continue building? Like I know for myself, being a digital storyteller and like sharing my experiences in my life through video is something that I enjoy. Or not even just videos, digital period. Because like growing up on social media and with technology so integrated into our lives, it's kind of like hard not to. But like as I've gotten older, I felt like the more of a need to kind of like share my story and who I am, because I feel like I'll be able to help other people in different ways. So just doing things like that. That all look different for each person. Again, you gotta center on yourself because we're all different people, but finding what it is that is your calling, is your purpose, and then doing those things. I've been reading a lot, and I feel like that's kind of been helping me kind of like feed my inner child, because as a kid I used to love reading. That's always been one of my passions. Reading, writing, just anything kind of creative, whether it's like doing my own, creating my own things, or like consuming other people's creativity. I just love anything creative. So just finding those different things and like looking for inspiration in these different avenues of life. Like if I read a book and it's something in the book stands out to me, I might delve more into it to see like why it is calling out to me. And even with my writing, I'm trying to get back into writing. I used to write a lot of poetry back in the day, but that's also something I'm trying to like integrate into my everyday. I've been doing like a lot of video diaries and just sitting down talking to my camera so that I feel more comfortable sitting in front of the camera, and I'm not only doing it for like in my actual videos. I want it to also be like part of my everyday, because it has been something that's really been feeding me in a way. And it just helped me get more comfortable. So just doing things like that. And then of course, the last part, the thing everybody cares about, love. It's the month of love, which is like why I didn't really post this last weekend, because I didn't want to take away from the lovers. Because this might sound like a little counterintuitive, but for your heart, I feel like it's important to foster a sense of self-love and pouring into yourself. Like, it's great to receive love from other people and external sources, but at the same time, we have to give ourselves that same energy and that same respect, because it's kind of hard to like accept love from other people when you're not even willing to give it to yourself. So just finding ways that you can love on yourself, having a self-care day here or there. That's what I did this past weekend, since it was Valentine's Day weekend. I was like, oh, let me go ahead and have like a nice self-love, self-care thing. Because even though I am single, even though I'm rocking a singledom, that doesn't mean I have to be alone or feel alone and not do anything. I have to just be sitting in my room alone. I mean, even though I was still alone, but I was alone doing something that was taking care of myself. So like I did like a face mask. You know, my sister did like at-home mani-pedis. I've never even gotten an external mani-pedi, so I don't know why I did it at-home mani-pedi, but it was the vibe, and we just put on some music and we were just kind of chilling out, watching our shows and whatnot. I also went to like a Valentine's Day event on Sunday that one of my mentors was DJing at, and so I was like, oh, let me go support. It was a cooler vibe, even though it was on a Sunday night. So I probably won't do that again, just because it's kind of hard doing that on a Sunday and then waking up early the next morning. But I definitely am glad that I got out. I just wish I would have did it on like a Friday or a Saturday. So those are things that I feel like you kind of learn through like loving yourself, like what things that you are into and what things you aren't into. What things, it's a cool vibe, just the wrong timing for it. And I know that's something I learned when I was going out. I was like, this is cool, but also I'm 26. So I don't have the energy to be really out like that. I'm saying like I'm like 40 or 50, but it's just that like I feel like as you get older, you start reframing how you maneuver and live in life. And at 26, going out on a Sunday night and being out past really 9 isn't my vibe anymore. But yeah, so I'm gonna conclude there. So just like using everything that you know and like finding things in different ways to feed into yourself, I feel like it's very important. Not allowing like external people's like view of like what fulfilling these different aspects are, like your mind, body, soul, and heart look like, because of course it's gonna look different for each person. So you have to look to yourself first and just find what it is that you need and like what's working for you. All right, and I hope you enjoy my new intro and outro. Let me know. Like, comment, subscribe. Until next time.